Hey guys, this is Cruiseroy again. Phantom 4, this is going to be my donor to try out the new software we're talking about. I got my old man eyes on behind these HD glasses that are a camera so you can see what we're doing on the screen. One of the things I want to talk about is the cords. Any of these cords you get for your Phantom 4 or Mavic, make sure they're data cord, either Android or whatever you're getting them for, because I've tried 1,000 cords and a lot of times they don't work properly. So I'm going to talk about the old mod that's on YouTube right now. That just started too. I think July 4th, I guess, Independence Day, it popped up, and a lot of people have been trying it, and it works, and it don't work. It depends on how good you are with tinkering. But then there's a new software that just came out. It's supposed to make life a little bit easier. And like I said, fly safe. We know our rules. But this is just in case you just needed to get that shot just somewhere where you're not supposed to be. Take a shot, come back in. I guess that's what it's all about. Alright, so let me turn here to the PC and we'll talk a little bit about so the first one is that you've probably heard about or you've been Googling about is just the DJI Assistant 2, and it's been debugged. Alright, so mine's already been hacked, if you want to say, and in the file storage area you click on a 0, add a 1, and now turn on your Phantom. I got a Phantom 4. This was actually all designed for the Mavic Pro and not the Phantom 4. But you still can see all the data. They blow this up. Alright, now you see the Phantom 4 connect. Phantom 4. Let's open it up. And what it is, I'm old school. I used to fly the old Phantom 1 and the Phantom 2 Vision. They had NASA software in them. This is all this is. It's just a dashboard for the NASA software, but now they're using something else. I think it's the A3 on the controller, so still pretty much the same. But now with the debugging enabled, you can actually see all the information you want to see. And I think DJI uses this to set the drone up before they sell it or put it to the market, because it isn't something that you just change one letter and voila, all this magic happens. Because normally you only have the 4 upper tabs right here. That's it. Now we have all of this. But the one everybody's been talking about is in parameters. If you click on parameters, it brings up all the parameters inside the bird, and trust me, you could brick this thing in about 3.9 seconds. But it's just like Mission Planner. If you know anything about Mission Planner, it's pretty similar, and there's a search bar up here, and you can just type in, like, we'll try airport. And the thing about the older Phantom 4 is the first one, they're starting to call it the P4 standard. It just has the gconfig airport limit, config, sim disable limit. So I guess if I turn that 1 to a 0, I can pretty much fly anywhere I want. And then there's speed, tilt, and all that, just like the Mavic Pro. But enough about that. You can Google all about the parameter changes and how to do it. As long as the videos are still up, you'll be able to see it. But lately, people have been getting kicked out of forums and all of that for this information. So keep it quiet, keep it to yourself, play all you want. Let me shut off the Assistant 2. Now the new software is called NLD apps, and it also uses the DJI Assistant app together. They have to work together. So let me shut the Phantom off for a minute, because it's starting to look for the SD card. Alright, so I hate when this happens. No, go away. Okay, NoLimitsDrones.com. They created an NLD mod client. It's a simple little program. You can get it for free, but you have to buy the activation code, just like any other software. You got to help support these guys for designing this. And I guess in the future, There's going to be many updates and different things it can do and different things it can changes, and they'll also have an add-on that is for the DJI Go 4 app, because that's become a problem lately with all the restrictions. You might as well just take the drone and fly it in your backyard, because you're not going to be able to fly it anywhere. But anyways, besides that, unleash the full potential of your DJI drone. Fly as usual, just without restrictions. I have the instructions here. I'm going to go over them really quick. It's supposed to be fairly easy. Connect your drone to the computer. Also turn it on. They should put / turn it on, because up here you'll see what I mean. Start the NLD mod client and the DJI Assistant 2 program. I think it's supposed to be the 2, because over here in red it says 2 and this says Assistant. Not realizing I think they need to change that a little bit. Next, when the client is correctly connected, the text turns green. So in this box it'll turn green, and like I said, see, it says Phantom 4 connected. So when you plug in, make sure you turn it on before you start these 2 softwares up. Now enter the values that you wish in the client. Over here you can change Ultra Sport, no fly zone, altitude, restrictions, you can disable it, speed. And also in here it says if they're grayed out, the firmware in your drone is not capable of these changes. So now you got to go a different route and figure out how to change your firmware, and that's somebody else's video. I don't need to make another one. It's out there. Use Google for it. And then it says when you get the desired values, hit mod that bird. Just a little button. Sounds all nice and easy. This is my donor P4, and if I brick it, I'm going to be kind of pissed, but we're going to try this out. And at the bottom here, which I forgot to get the screenshot of, it just says be safe and fly safe. And it's true. These guys are just designing the software. It's your drone. It's your responsibility. Be safe. Don't fly where you're not supposed to. And like I said, there's some places that, like where I was, there was an airport that's been closed for 4 years. You should be able to fly, no problem around there. But in China, all they go is by USA old standards of airports, so it shows up still. So let's get out of that. So like I said, we're going to start up the Phantom 4. It's plugged in already with a USB. Let me turn it on. I'm going to start the DJI Assistant 2 app, or program for your computer, and I'm going to slide it over here, try to shrink it up. I am not going to debug it. It's already hacked, but I'm not going to do the debugging because it's not set up for that. It's supposed to be just your DJI Assistant 2. Now open up NLD app and we'll see what happens. Okay, it says DJI Assistant 2 started okay, Phantom 4 connected, waiting for connection to bird over USB. I guess I'm not connected. Let me check the instructions again. When the client is analyzing firmware information. So here it says P4 connected. There's nothing here. I figured it would say OK, but it says analyzing firmware connection. So we got all 3 of them turned on. Maybe I'm only supposed to turn on the drone after both are running, waiting for connection over the USB. Now I'm going to try something that you shouldn't. I'm going to disconnect the USB, and then I'm going to connect it. Now, close that off, close that. Waiting for connection to bird. So do I hit the P4 connection here? Still not seeing anything. It's connected to the P4 Assistant. I'm not connecting here. So, the DJI Assistant 2, I'm using the debugged one, but it still should show up here. I don't know why it says waiting, but as of now, I'm stuck. The drone's hooked up. I'm not getting any information to the new software. So I'm going to stop right now and try a few things out, and then I'll get back to you. This is Cruise Roy. I'm out of here for now on the NoLimitsDrones.com mod. I'm out of here. Hey guys, Cruise Roy. I'm back with the P4 and the new software that's out there now. You have to purchase the activation key, but you can download it and look at the file. It's pretty small. But let me get back to this, and I'm going to explain what I did wrong. Alright? I got my old man eyes and the camera on again so you can see what I'm doing over here. Alright guys, so what I did is I have the DJI Assistant 2 debugged version. Now this is in a class of its own, the NLD app. It works with the original DJI Assistant 2. So I had to download the old version, not the old version, but just a regular version, the non-debugged version. So now when you load a second DJI Assistant 2, when it asks you for a folder, just create a new folder and install it into that folder. Now it's separate from the debugged version if you want to use that for any type of other mods. So let's try this again. Seeing as I screwed it up the first time. Well, like I said, it's a new program. I just found it today. I purchased the key, and just let me show you real quick. Jeff was online right now, and we talked about the problems, and we worked it out. So they have good customer support. It's the middle of the night for me, 9:31, and we got it worked out. So let me try it again. Alright, so what I understand is I like to open up and run as an administrator, because that kind of blocks any of the RAM memory from anything else, so they seem to open quicker. So let's open up the new app, the NoLimitDrones.com app, the NLD mod client. What this does is hook up to their server, and it kind of gives them an idea of what kind of firmware you need to do. But supposedly, don't be scared, it has nothing to do with them linking to your bird. It just links to the DJI Assistant app. And like I said, I can't use my debugged version, which I'm moving right there, but I did install another DJI Assistant 2, and I will run it from this folder, and I'll run it as administrator again. When you run things as administrator, it seems to open a little bit quicker. And there we go. HDMI change. So both apps are open right now. If you notice over here, it says connection status, DJI Assistant 2 has started. And if you look at this, it's not the debugged version. This is the original version. And that's why they say DJI Assistant, but it's actually up here, you see it's number 2. Alright, so now let me turn on the Phantom 4. Now the other thing I'm going to tell you is, while having the discussion with Jeff, it's not on their website, but if you have an old P4 and you haven't really upgraded the firmware faithfully like I have, you don't really have most of the things. Like they said, if they're grayed out, like I don't have the no-fly zone, I can't disable it, because and I can't disable the radius because it's not in my bird yet. I can still fly the no-fly zones. I just get a message that says fly with caution, and I swipe it and I can fly. I also can't change the return to home speed, forward speed or return home. I can't change that because it's not in there. But the ultra sport mode and added altitude, I can disable the limit, and I can change all these numbers. And if you just point your mouse, it tells you what they're for. Forward tilt angle. Now the forward tilt angle is how fast this thing will go. The more tilt, the faster it'll go. This one is your velocity up speed, and I forgot to ask, it's meters per second. So even though I changed mine to imperial, this will be meters per second. So this is the stock information from your firmware. So this is if you're throttling up, this is if you're coming down, this is up acceleration in sports mode, and this is down acceleration in sports mode. Alright, and at any time you can hit the default button, they'll all go back. You can reset it, but when you're done with these modes here, you would just click the Ultra Sport values. I'm not going to do it because the minute if I do this right here, I'll just do altitude 500 plus, disable limit. Oh, by the way, don't push this button. It automatically works with the assistant software, and you don't push this button. So altitude 500 plus, I want to disable that limit so I can go as high as I want. When you click mod your bird, that's when it's going to ask. It's showing a serial number from your drone. That's why it's a client server. They just need your email address and the activation key. I'm not going to do this right now because you guys will get a free activation key. I mean, it's supposedly not supposed to work because it goes by my serial number. I have 4 or 5 drones, so I purchased more keys. I guess it's a key per bird, so pick your bird. You can either have the Mavic or the Phantom 4, Phantom 4 Pro, or whatever, or you can have as many as you want. But that's when it's going to ask for your email address and your activation key. I recommend that you put that in a file. And like here, I have my DJI hack folder. It has all kinds of stuff to mod your bird. So this is about as far as I'm going to go with the Phantom 4. I can hook up the Mavic. It's just going to say Mavic and show the same things. Also, the last thing is Jeff recommended that you do upgrade your firmware to the highest firmware that DJI supports, which is going to cause all these problems, the no-fly, the speed, altitude, everything, because you'll have all the new updates, and the No Limits Drones NLD mod client is going to deactivate all of that. But the other stuff, there's other stuff in the P4 that does get updated, and you really need that for like your camera and all that happy crap. So anyways, this is Cruise Roy, Phantom 4. Hack your drone. Don't tell them I sent you, because DJI, if they hear anything, they're probably going to send me a new drone. I'll see you guys later, and I'm out of here.